I'm back again to do another video for you, and today we have the Plumeria. The 3 brushes I'm using, well actually 4 brushes I'm using, will be my 0 script liner, my number 12 flat, 3/4 flat, and your number 8 flat. So I'm going to take my 3/4 flat, get it into the water, but make sure all the water's out. And I've got wicker white, lemon custard, pink melon, soft apple, thicket, and our floating medium. I'm going to squeeze out a little more of my white. So I've got, and I'm using multi-surface paints. I'm going to pick up my white on one side, yellow on the opposite side, and really make sure we load the brush with lots of paint inside. That means pick up enough paint, blend back and forth, so that your paint level on your brush should almost be to your ferrule. Your ferrule is this silver area or your metal area on your brush, so we want this to be almost to that level. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of my melon color on the yellow side and blend back and forth. So it's going to create kind of a pinky yellow shade right in there. Then pick up my medium and blend back and forth. And remember the medium, because we're painting on a surface that's very porous, which is our sketch pad, we want to make sure we do pick up some of that medium. The bottom of each petal is a V, and what you want to do is lay your chisel, lean up, and just rotate the outside. See that? And then slide it back in. And I'm going to do 5 of these. So if you spread them out correctly, you will end up with enough room for 5. Keep turning the surface. So it's chisel, turn, and ice skate back in. I'm going to do another one. Pick up a lot of paint. Pick up my melon again here. And another one. So determine your center. Remember it's a V. Chisel, lean up, rotate, slide in. Here. So go ahead and add all of our petals for this one. Chisel, turn, and chisel, turn. And so it's okay to overlap petals there. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my 12 flat and pick up my leaf colors. So that's thicket and soft apple. So one corner soft apple, thicket on the other, blend on your palette, really push down. I'm going to pick up a little bit of my melon color on the dark green side and blend. I like a little bit of my flower color in my leaves. So I've got a little bit of melon there, and we're going to do a 2-part leaf. So remember the 2-part leaf? We just do the one side here, and then pull and add the other side, just like that. Ice skate down for your stem. Keep turning your surface. Decide where you want to place your leaves. So chisel, rotate the outside, release pressure as you pull and connect. So we'll add a couple of these. Okay. And remember your chisel, your stem there. And a couple more. One more right in here. Oh, let's do one over here. And then I want to just show you some of the shadow leaves. If you watched my other videos, I've got shadow leaves. So that's going to help fill up my painting a little bit when I add the shadow leaves. So what I'm going to do is just wipe off a lot of the paint that's already on there, but you see there's still some paint in there. I'm going to scoop up some floating medium and just scrub on my palette So you see all that little bit of paint that's coming out? That's what we're going to use to paint our shadow leaves. So this helps fill up our painting a little bit without making it look too busy. So these are kind of like watercolor leaves. You see that? So it helps fill up our canvas without it looking too heavy. And find some spots where you want to place them. And I always like to put sets of 3. So here I pull the stems out, and they're kind of going in different directions. Now if you start running out of paint, just pick up a little bit. And remember, it's just remember, it is mostly a floating medium with a touch of color in there. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the melon color, and that's always nice. It's going to give it a slight little peachy tint there, and then paint your leaves. So you see that little hint of the pink? That gives it a nice little effect. I'm going to add that right in here again. So you see that? And you see it's lighter or a little more transparent than my solid ones, and that's the floating medium, and that will do that. Give it a transparent effect. Now I'm going to switch to my smaller brush, which is my 8 flat, and I'm going to pick up wicker white on one side, floating medium on the opposite side, and you see I picked up just very little bit of white. And I'm going to blend and really make sure that the white paint stays right above the white paint, because we don't want that white to be traveling all the way across. When we do these little flips, we want to make sure that it's not the width of your brush, because that means you have too much white traveling all the way across. So it's just a little bit. Now with the white on the top, I'm going to be adding little flips on the left side of each petal. So I'm going to take my chisel, slightly ice skate a little bit, lean in with my white, and slowly stand up, but pull to the center. You see that? So I'm going to go ahead and do that to each one. Ice skate, stand up. Skate down, lean in, stand up. So ice skate here, lean in, stand up. Now as I'm pulling back in, I add a slight little twist to the brush, so when I end on my chisel, I kind of curve it towards the center. That kind of gives it a nice little effect. Chisel, lean in, stand up. And remember, if your brush ends up with too much white, remember, just wipe it off and reload. We want the white to just be on one corner of the brush. Otherwise, you'll get a solid white, thick stripe on each of your petals. So ice skate, lean inward, stand up, and pull to the center. And then I end it with a little bit of green on the handle of my brush, and I just dip dot the center. Okay, and we'll add some little tendrils, and that's with my Zero script liner. And remember, we use a little bit of water to this, so I will want to thin it out when we do tendrils. So what that is just touching with your tip and kind of slowly squiggling here. See that? That kind of just adds to your painting a little bit. And then if you need to pull in little stems, you could do that with this also. See that? Gives you really nice fine lines. So let me go ahead and do that to each of my leaves here, the shadow leaves, because they are transparent, but this will kind of make it a little more noticeable there. And there we go. There's our Plumeria. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Come back again.